Chinese actors Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan used to be great friends, but a series of controversies involving their respective fandoms has created a rift between the two, and many are debating whether their relationship can ever recover. Both Yibo and Zhan emerged as major stars in the Chinese entertainment world in the late 2010s after starting their careers as idols. Yibo is known to K-pop fans as a member of idol group Unit, while Zhan debuted as a member of the Chinese boy band X9, and they both accumulated a large following. After moving to acting, they quickly achieved a lot of success, and they starred as the leads of the 2019 Chinese drama The Untamed. This show was a commercial hit, with viewers and critics praising everything about the series, from the plot and the character development to the historical setting and elaborate clothing. One of the reasons why this show quickly became popular is that it's based on a BL web novel, which depicts an explicit romance between the leads, and fans couldn't wait to see how this aspect would be portrayed in the drama adaptation. However, due to China's ban on LGBTQ portrayal in films and dramas, nothing explicit was ever shown. This means that, unlike the original novel, the drama adaptation had no kisses or other kinds of explicit physical contact between the leads, and their relationship was basically turned into an adorable bromance that only suggests that there might be something more. For this reason, fans who wanted to see a closer interaction between Zhan and Yibo decided to take matters into their own hands, and countless fan fictions depicting an explicit romance between their characters in The Untamed started to flood online platforms. At the same time, many netizens became obsessed with Yibo and Zhan, and they started to analyze every single little interaction between them, hoping to find clues that they were developing a real-life romance. While promoting The Untamed, Yibo and Zhan often appeared together and interacted closely, showing a great chemistry and what seemed to be at the very least a great friendship. However, their interactions sparked a lot of speculation among netizens who wanted to see them as a couple. This led to some tension between fandoms, with solo stans of each actor arguing that shipping them together could be harmful because of China's censorship laws. Meanwhile, Zhan and Yibo kept appearing together, most notably accepting an award at the Weibo TV Series Awards in January 2020. Fans loved to see this moment, but no one could have imagined that this would be the last time they interacted publicly. With fans becoming increasingly obsessed with the idea of a romance between the two, fan fictions depicting them as a couple became more and more popular. While many fans loved to read these stories, more conservative netizens became increasingly upset, complaining about the explicit LGBTQ elements of these fan fictions. The most controversial of these stories was a novel called Falling, which was posted by a netizen on the fan fiction website Archive of Our Own, or AO3, starting on January 30th, 2020. On February 24th, links to chapters 12 and 13 of Falling were shared on Chinese social media Weibo, and they quickly went viral. Over the following days, many fans of Zhan became upset about this story, arguing that the apparent inclusion of a romance between underage characters. Many took these elements as an insult towards Zhan and started denouncing the controversial content of Falling. On February 27, 2020, fans of Zhan decided to mass report the fan fiction to Chinese authorities, and this became known as the 227 incident. As a consequence of this incident, access to AO3 was completely blocked in mainland China on February 29th. This ban had a major impact on many Chinese fandoms, as countless netizens thought of AO3 as a rare safe space that was, until then, basically untouched by Chinese censorship laws, so many were very upset and blamed the incident on Zhan and his fans. Zhan's agency immediately apologized for the controversy and urged fans to stop and be rational. Meanwhile, many began arguing that Zhan's image as a sweetheart was being destroyed, and he was now seen by people who didn't know him as a celebrity with a crazy fandom that took down an entire platform. The agency's apology didn't calm down netizens, and many started to target Zhan and his fans. At the same time, netizens also unearthed some controversial comments made by Zhan, trying to harm his image. Things got much worse on March 17th when Chinese AO3 users announced a boycott against all the brands that worked with Zhan, and went even further by actively promoting their competitors and flooding the customer service lines of these brands with requests to end their collaboration with Zhan. Netizens also targeted the projects Zhan worked on, leaving awful reviews on all of his shows. Millions of netizens joined the boycott, and the strength and wide scope of this action led to a lot of online discussion. The entire Chinese entertainment industry started to suffer from the scandal, and an industry insider commented that this incident was a prime example of toxic fandom culture in China, adding that the boycott was happening despite the fact that neither the brand nor Zhan had done anything wrong. Another industry insider even argued that this incident was a wake-up call for all brands in China who are too reliant on idols and actors for promotion, adding that a sudden fan-generated crisis could bring long-term harm to brands. Despite this, the controversy only grew bigger, and Zhan had to disappear from social media for some time. While he wasn't directly involved in the incident, Yibo had to lay low for a while too, and it's very likely that he was pressured into avoiding any interaction with Zhan. However, Yibo was still dragged into the controversy, with fans of Zhan accusing Yibo's fandom of fueling the smear campaign against Zhan. This led to an increasingly heated three-sided conflict between Zhan's fandom, Yibo's fandom, and those who were shipping them together. At the same time, it looked like Zhan's career was about to collapse. Brands started to withdraw their endorsements, his dramas were being postponed, and he was being edited out of TV shows. Despite this, he still retained a large fan base, and he responded to the controversy on April 20th by releasing his new song, Spotlight, which broke every record to become the fastest-selling digital single of all time in China. After weeks of silence, Zhan made his first public appearance since the 227 incident with an interview posted on May 6, 2020, apologizing for his controversial past remarks and then discussing the 227 incident. He said that he was thankful to see that he had a large and passionate fandom, but added that his fans shouldn't do anything extreme or anything that could harm others. However, he refused any responsibility for the 227 incident, saying that he couldn't control what his fans wanted to do. Once again, these statements did little to stop the controversy, and on May 20th, Zhan decided to file a criminal complaint against netizens who harassed him online, accusing them of defamation, spreading false information, and causing mental anguish to both the actor and his fans. Weibo also had to intervene, and in July, the platform banned several pages linked with the 227 incident, arguing that they were promoting hatred and launching cyber attacks on state agencies and media outlets. Soon afterwards, Zhan's agency announced that they were collaborating with Weibo to remove controversial accounts and admitted that they should have done more to control the fandom. A few months later, Zhan won his defamation case, and one of the leaders of the movement against him was ordered to pay over $30,000 in damages. With the controversy finally calming down, both Zhan and Yibo slowly began resuming their activities, and they both returned to acting in dramas. However, they kept their distance from each other and had no interaction at all. At this point, netizens began arguing whether there was some real-life tension between the two, or if they were just avoiding each other for fear of sparking another wave of controversy. Some have argued that Zhan actually began distancing himself from Yibo even before the 227 incident because of toxic solo fans. In fact, it seems like many Yibo fans have always disliked Zhan and vice versa, and the 227 incident was just the last straw. This reciprocal hatred sometimes explodes again, and there have been various reports of altercations between the two fandoms over the years, also involving those who still ship the two together. One of the most recent incidents happened in August 2024, when during a concert, some fans started to chant that Yibo and Zhan are a real couple. In response, Yibo fans retaliated with the chant, "Zhan is," and this led to a fight between the two sides. Various fans ended up being injured, and the police had to intervene to stop the fight. Netizens are now divided between those who think that the altercation between fandoms has led to a real rift between Yibo and Zhan, and those who instead believe that they've been just forced to avoid each other because of the toxic behavior of their fans. Instead, some still believe that they're an actual couple who have to hide their real feelings because of the controversy and China's censorship laws. Those who ship them together even went as far as speculating that they're just waiting for their contracts to expire in 2026 before going public with their relationship. but this theory seems to be just wishful thinking. While it's impossible to know their real behind-the-scenes relationship at this point, most netizens believe that they're just avoiding each other as a PR strategy, as a public interaction between them might reignite the scandal. Since both their careers are going quite well at the moment, both of them are probably thinking that appearing together right now might do more harm than good, and it's better to keep some distance.